What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about MicroStrategy today. And I've got a very unique indicator that I want to show you guys that I think it is a very telling sign of what's about to happen. It actually called the top of MicroStrategy perfectly, and I think now that we're getting an opposite indication, it could be calling the bottom as well. It's a very inverse. What we're seeing right now on this indicator, it's inverse to what we saw at the top. But before we get to that, I'll save that for the end. Before we get to that, let's get into the usual stuff, okay? Just dip our toes in, and then we'll start wading into the depths a little bit more as time goes on. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see content like this. Thank you all for being here. We're at $348 this month. We're up 4%. We have kind of been lagging for the past 2 or 3 months. It hasn't been doing anything, right? Over the past 2 months, I have been expecting and calling for the price to go to $1,000, right? And remember, maybe some of you don't remember, because I know a lot of you have recently subscribed, especially around the time that MicroStrategy was doing well. Most people don't look for content and subscribe whenever we're being boring, but for months back here as well, and even weeks back here, we were talking about the price going to prices that were above $200, above $300, and even as high as $600, of which we fell just short of, but we still inevitably went up, right? Imagine back here, I want to take a second and imagine, this actually has a lot to do with the indicator that we're going to go over, you guys. Imagine back here, you or me or somebody was calling for the price to go to $540, but it happened here instead. Were they wrong? Yes, from a time perspective, yeah, sure, but does it matter? I don't know. I don't think it matters, man, personally, right? It's kind of the same thing here, except in my opinion, we're not going to consolidate this long. It would make sense this consolidation phase is going to be dramatically shorter. I think with the fake out that we had at the beginning of this week, I think it's very indicative that we are, in fact, going to see some growth out of this phase here. And if we look at the daily RSI, we've got some higher lows coming in here. It looks like we're in the beginning of somewhat of an uptrend potentially. Higher lows, higher highs. Who knows how much this will grow from here. If we look at the 3-hour time frame, not really a higher low, higher high scenario, but we are getting oversold and we are getting overbought. So very volatile, very kind of volatile expectations here. You can see it in the price action as well. It's very volatile. I'm going to delete this so that it just, yeah, there we go. That way it opens up the chart more. If we take a high to a low, you went from your 0.5 down to your 236. Again, I'm not really going to consider this as a low. I mean, it's there. It technically is a low, but I think it was a fake out. It's kind of almost like false price action, right? I'm sure that there wasn't a whole lot of volume having been put down here. There's probably a lot more going up on the way up there, but holding the 236 nonetheless. You slipped for a moment, but you're holding the 236 nonetheless. You found resistance at the 0.5. The next target you go to likely from here would be the golden ratio, if not even above that. You could bypass the golden ratio. I don't think you do, because you have previous areas of resistance here. I think it would make sense to stop there, but you could bypass that, and if you did, I would think the highest you go is 500, but likely you'd probably stop at 473 if you were to bypass this. Now, I suspect this move, specifically this move to this range or this range, would happen by the end of this week, if not sometime next week, sometime early next week would be my expectations, okay? Hold on. So I think at this point, I would like to go over the special indicator that I have. It's going to be anticlimactic. I promise you, I made it out to be this fancy thing to boost your curiosity, but it is something that's useful. It's something that's very accurate, and it makes sense because it has a lot to do with sentiment. It's something that we can visibly see, and we could measure. We're not going to measure it. We're just going to observe it. Okay. But I would like to go back to, let's go back to December, right? Not when we were at the high, because a lot of you hadn't found your way here yet. I feel like a lot of people who watch my MicroStrategy videos, you started to subscribe here. Let's go back to December 1st, okay? December 1st, MSTR, MicroStrategy, all the way back. Can we go show all? Let's go back to December 1st here. Where are we at? All the way. We got to go back. I made a lot, man. I was making them daily for a second there. We're about to flip back into that too. December 8th. Okay, December 8th. Let's do that. I got 78 comments on there. This is it. We're going to look at the sentiment, okay? Appreciate your analysis. That's the first one. This is excellent, extremely helpful. Another one that doesn't mention the effect of Sailor hitting the ATM. Oh, so this guy hated me, but whatever. That's okay. I don't know. It looks like there's a little conversation there. That's not the point. Bold call, sir. What about MSTR joining the QQQ? Super bullish, right? Look at all these bullish comments. No, it's nuking to 7. So that one wasn't bullish. But then look at all the people coming in here besides Ant Wando. Trader, are you okay? This guy, yeah. I don't know. It's a little bit of back and forth. Means 700 and 800. Phenomenal analysis. Thank you. All I'm trying to say is look at. I feel like the majority of the comments in here. There's a couple that are negative, but the majority are bullish. And again, this was December 8th when we had already topped off. There was a majority of bullish people. So in other words, sentiment was bullish here, and we kept going down. Okay, now what I'd like to do is I would like to go to MSTR from my most recent video, which was yesterday, right? That was yesterday. And if we look at the comments here, think you should recalculate. This is a scam comment, by the way. I'm actually going to hide that one. That's a scam comment there. Come on now. Downward channel. What would you say that it's in a downward channel? What an amateur. I stand corrected. Recent view is favorable. Okay, so there's a bullish, but now you see the difference, right? That's 3 bearish calls to 1 bullish, right? MSTR ready to blow earnings tomorrow. Okay, hey, there's a bullish one. You may want to consider the words "I was wrong" in the title of your video. It would be the only thing you do right. See what I mean? It's a whole different thing. And there's love. There's love. You were always wrong. Vishal, I don't know. Vishal's laughing, but Vishal's cool. So I don't know if he's laughing with me or at me, but whatever. Nope, you get this one right. Fingers crossed. We have calls. Oh, okay. I'm just saying, if you go through here, look at this, right? There's more hate. There's a lot more hate. Like LOL the videos. Unfortunately, I can only hit the subscribe button once. Oh, thanks, bro. I appreciate you, though. Yeah, I know. He's fake. I'm just saying, you can go through here. There's a lot more hateful comments in here than there were back here. And isn't it funny how the sentiment has changed? I don't care. I hope you guys understand my feelings aren't hurt. You can love me. You can hate me, whatever. You can like it or love it for all I care, right? I don't know any of you personally, so why would that hurt my feelings, right? It's encouraging when I get positive feedback. I love it. But, man, I love the haters. You guys come out in full force. I get a lot more engagement from the haters, which that actually helps push the content more anyways. So I don't care if I get hate or if I get love, right? All I'm here to do is tell you what my perspective is day in and day out, and that perspective hasn't changed at all. The only time that it changed was before this day here. We were assuming that we would drop to 310, which we dropped right down to about $309 there, and then likely proceed lower to 235. I was assuming that we could be in a downtrend if the trade wars kicked off, if the tariffs came into play. But very early on in that day, things got canceled out. Trudeau agreed to give, to spend $1.3 billion in fortifying the Canadian border. The Mexican president called Trump, and they had a good discussion to do the same. They sent 10,000 troops. A lot of people like to use the excuse and say, they sent 10,000 troops when Biden was president too, and you're acting like it's a big deal. Yeah, but when Biden was president, caravans of immigrants were coming through the country. These 10,000 troops that Mexico has sent now, they're taking it more seriously. They've already sent 2 huge caravans back, right? It's different now. It's different now. If you don't want to say that, that's okay. You're just not actually looking at the data. It's a political thing for you instead of a factual thing for you. But we're trying to stick to the facts here, right? It's not political. It's not an agenda. It's the actual reality of what's happening, right? And the reality of what's happening that I'm getting to, that I'm alluding from, is the fact that the tariffs, it wasn't a bluff. It just didn't come to that, right? Trump got his way, and the markets reacted positively because of that. Or at least, at the very least, did not react negatively. And that's the whole point I'm trying to say, is that here, I was thinking we could go to 235 because at this point, I was assuming the tariffs would go on. What would it be for a week? Would it be for 2 weeks? Would it be for a month or two? I don't know. Last time in his first term, it lasted for over a year. So at this point, I think it was rather safe to be on the cautious side and think more on the terms of downside. But again, early on in that day, things got reversed. Clearly, that's not happening now. Things are on pause. I think things are looking good. And I'm getting away from the real point here, which is that we are at the lows. We are literally at the lows. And the sentiment has totally changed. It went from bullish and optimistic, praising me, even if I was wrong, to now I am the roast. You want me tar and feathered. You hate me. You want to see me lose all my money. I don't know, whatever. Maybe you don't want to see that, but you at least want to write negative comments, right? That to me is actually an indication, and I've noticed it time and time again, that people are the most bullish, people are the most hype. I get a lot of nice comments when we're at the top, and I get the most negative comments only at the bottom. Is it when the trolls feel safe to come out of their caves, because they're nowhere to be found once we move up, right? It was the same thing back here, but then once we moved up, all the people that were talking smack about my calls above $300, $500 back here, they were nowhere to be found. And now it's a new class of the same people, but whenever we move up to $1,000, they're not going to be anywhere to be found. And we love them because of the engagement. It helps the channel grow. We love them because they're also a good indicator of how much negative sentiment is in the market right now. And that tends to be the time that we turn around. So I hope you all took something away from this video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more. I appreciate whoever it was that said that they can only subscribe once. They would subscribe more if they could. Make another account, do it. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, am I kidding? Hit the like button, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.